Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everybody is having a good day so far. I am just going to make sure I have the live chat on. All right. So I hope everybody's had a good day to potentially the start of their work week. Today we have our open discussion and the topic that I try to put in place topics that don't often get talked about, whether it's something you're struggling with or something that you want to speak, kind of give yourself a kudos type thing. And a lot of people don't want to talk about themselves or, I don't want to say brag, but really like give themselves like accomplishments or anything like that. So that is why on Friday I put out all self involving type topics to discuss today because I think it's important that we do talk about ourselves and aside from just what we're struggling with, self-esteem has was the winner, but you can talk about self-esteem from either perspective. So I thought all of these topics could be talked about in a positive way, or you could talk about some things that maybe you're struggling within yourself. So we had self-care, self-improvement, and self-esteem. Out of those three, self-esteem got the most votes. They all kind of go hand in hand, to be 100% honest. So it's kind of just going to be an open discussion kind of about things that you may struggle with internally or that you're proud about yourself that you've accomplished. And we'll start off with self esteem and we'll kind of just go from there. I will say I am going to try and keep today's live stream as to the point as possible. I know at times we tend to kind of get off topic, and I don't mind. I moving forward won't mind, but tonight I have a lot of stuff I have to do. Xylie's going to be going live tonight at 6, and I want to be there for that, as well as I have to drop my husband off somewhere, so I need to be mindful of my time for that as well. So I just kind of want to be honest with you guys. I'm not trying to rush. If we go for a while and we're still talking and I have to get off of here, I will probably continue this conversation tomorrow or later this evening. But I first want to say hi to everybody who has joined. Hey, Angie. Hey, Just Us. Hey, Dottie. Hey, April. Hey, Tina. Hey, Lisa. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is having a pretty decent day. Well, I hope you're okay, Lisa. And if you end up having to leave, I totally understand that. I appreciate everybody who is here. The first thing I kind of want to talk about before we get into open discussion is I put out a poll, I think it was like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, where I had kind of toyed with the idea of doing something like an open discussion, but for the community, where the community can give their experiences, whether they want to write in something that they've experienced in their life, like a part of their life story, or if they want to come on camera or on StreamYards, whichever one you would prefer, and tell your story for in this kind of format that we do open discussion. The majority overwhelming answer was that you guys wanted to do that. So I do want to go ahead and say I do want to start incorporating that, whether it's a weekly, a bi-weekly, or a monthly type thing is kind of going to depend on the audience. It's going to depend on you guys. If you guys are sending in your stories or if you guys are reaching out to me and saying, hey, you want to sit on a panel and kind of talk about something you've experienced, I can't really move forward with that thought unless people are going to want to participate. So I am going to enact that as soon as some people start coming to me, or whether that's in DMs or if you want to email me, my email's in the description box. So I did just want to mention that briefly. And we're just going to get on into the topic. Hey, Maria, good to see you. Today's topic, like I said, is self-esteem. And I'm not sure how people would anticipate many to talk about this. I feel like for me, my self-esteem is it ebbs and flows. I always have, even though, I've been honest with you guys, especially my members, about my weight loss journey and what I'm going through currently, but I have always kind of maintained some kind of level of self esteem despite being overweight. I don't know why. There has been parts in my life where I didn't have any self esteem, like at all, where I didn't have self esteem, but I knew people would compliment me on whether it was a physical appearance or something else. I would always kind of get complimented, and that made it easier. And I think once I got to be a young adult is really when I kind of developed this attitude that I really don't care what people think about me. And I know that that sounds, when I say that, people kind of take it the wrong way, but I really genuinely don't care what the public thinks of me when I'm out in public. If they think I'm fat, okay, they think I'm fat. Because when I was really fit and in shape, I had people who told me I wasn't. Primarily, it was like not a healthy relationship that I was involved in. But he would tell me that I was still overweight. And I mean, I was very athletic, very in shape. No way I was overweight at all. And that would be his comeback, is that I still needed to lose weight, which I had no weight to lose. And even in those times, like that was probably the lowest point my self-esteem had ever been. But I've always had supportive friends and supportive family who always, if I ever started to have like negative thinking of myself or my appearance, they would kind of like double take back. So I wouldn't feel that way because they would over say the opposite on if I was struggling with, how my makeup was. I'd get complimented on my makeup. If I wasn't sure about my outfit, I'd get complimented on my outfit. For me, the self-esteem issues that I struggle with are not physical ones. They're more internal ones. I don't struggle with confidence, but I struggle with being, it's one or two ways with me when it comes to my self-esteem about being for sure about something. Like once I'm a Taurus at heart, so once I'm super stubborn, and once I make my decision about something, like if it's a right or wrong type scenario, it is very hard for me to really not think in that mindset, if that makes sense. So I struggle with that as far as like my self-esteem with my decision making. And it has made me extremely indecisive. And I'm indecisive about a lot of things in my life. My indecisiveness, you guys, I'm sure most of you watched my recent video. A lot of why I couldn't just make a decision and move on, even though I knew for a while that I was being affected so negatively, was because I was scared. I was indecisive. I lacked the confidence in my decision making at that point in time, which is a part of self esteem. I think a lot of people, and myself even included, starting this discussion, when you think about self esteem, you immediately think of your physical attributes, because that's what people see and that's where people really kind of gauge your self-esteem. But your self-esteem comes from so many different places and all over. And I understand, like, everybody struggles to different degrees in today's society. It is, as women especially, it is very hard to fit into any kind of standardized norm, because the body shape and the body type for women that is, pushed upon as being beautiful or being what men want or your partner may want is not attainable for a lot of people. It's really not an obtainable, healthy body type to have. Can some have that body type in a healthy manner and it not be a struggle for them? Yes, but it's not the majority of women. The majority of women who are pushing themselves to be into that type of physique oftentimes are doing it in an unhealthy way. And in 2021 and even in 2020, the last couple of years, there's been like this huge body positivity movement, but there's still just so much that people are so set in their ways that they just think that if you're overweight, you're disgusting, or if you're overweight, you're not doing anything to, be in a healthy weight. But with that being said, a healthy body type for me is not going to be a healthy body type for somebody else. I'm very short. I'm very petite. I've talked about this before. I don't know if it's only been in members only videos, but I'm 5 foot. I'm extremely short. And I'm petite. I wear a size 5 shoe. Like, I'm a very tiny person. And yes, I am overweight, but I wasn't overweight until about like 5 or 6 years ago. And that's just part of life. I could go into the ins and outs on why I gained weight, but I mean, it doesn't matter. When I still maintain, like, although I'm overweight, I'm proportionate. And I know I'm lucky in the fact that although I am overweight, I'm still rather proportionate. I've always kind of had a very athletic physique, but I've been curvaceous in the aspects of a female's body that people want you to be. I've always had that, and gaining weight for me has only made those parts of my body bigger, which is what happens when you gain weight. And I don't know if that's why I never really lost any confidence in myself or lost any self-esteem when I was been on this gaining weight for the last couple of years. If it's because I've maintained like a relatively, standardized figure. I don't know if that's why. I don't know if it's because nobody's ever really picked on me for being overweight. I mean, I get trolls online that will kind of give me crap, but I don't care. I'm doing what I can now, but for the longest time, I was happy at my weight. It wasn't really affecting me to where I felt I needed to do anything about it. My husband didn't care that I was overweight. It wasn't impeding on my lifestyle at all. So weight has a lot, I feel like, with most people's self-esteem, is if you feel that you fit what you think is pretty in the standard of what society thinks is pretty. I kind of don't care what society thinks is pretty. I never really have. Whatever I like, and I just go with it. So I am going to go back up and read you guys' chat. I know some of you guys have been chatting, and I like to just get the discussion started and spill it all out. Hey, Royal Black, how are you doing? Hey, Miss Cassandra. You bring up a point, Dottie, that like when you do struggle with self-esteem, it's kind of like looked down upon if you talk about it. If you talk about the fact that you may be struggling. Your fellow Taurus, Sue. Hey, Gaming Granny, how are you? Hey, Melody. Being overweight and also being disabled can further your struggles with self-esteem. I could see that. Tina, you also struggle. I think almost everybody struggles with self-esteem. It just depends on how you struggle with it and what you do to make yourself feel better and like kind of come out of that. Miss Cassandra, you struggled because you were skinny and your cousins and aunts all had big boobs and you were itty bitty. I don't know if I have a dog hair in my nose or what. It itches. Yeah, I'm super short. You went from 100 pounds to 155 pounds during pregnancy. I mean, I don't feel like that's totally unheard of. Hey, Amber, Chick, how are you doing? Hey, Tor, how are you? Hey, Lean. You lost half an inch. You used to be 11. Yeah, I haven't actually measured my height in a while, but I'm really short. I've talked about it here and there. I guess maybe I've never really talked about it on like openly to this degree. I think it's been for my members only videos where I talk about my weight loss and stuff. Yeah, I'm short. So that's always I've always been short, so I've kind of accustomed my life to like having to climb on shelves and stuff like that. Hey Zoe, how are you? There's a lot of tourists in chat. I didn't realize so many of you guys were tourists. You're 5'2", barely on a good day. Yeah, the only bad thing about my height and my weight, I'll say one of the things that I do get self-conscious of being the size that I am is how close I have to be to my steering wheel. I mean, that's the one thing anybody notices when they get into when I'm driving. I literally am like on top of the steering wheel almost. Like there's hardly any room between me and the steering wheel. And even if I wasn't overweight, I would still have to be that close to the steering wheel because my legs are small. I'm small. I'm proportionate. I really am. Like if I step back, I'm definitely proportionate, but I'm just short and I'm chunky. I'm not. I don't know like my BMI or anything like that. I know my weight. I probably technically fall under the realm for my height as being obese. Um, I can still function pretty well. Like the parts that hurt on my body aren't because of my stomach. It's because of my chest. Pisces. I don't know if there's any Pisces. I haven't seen anybody say that they are. You're 5'4", 5'5". It fits with your elf aesthetic. Yeah, it does. Hey, Advent. Yeah, I'm not very tall. And I guess if I had to say anything about something that I have struggled with as far as like my self esteem, probably does have to come from my height more than my weight. Like, it's not fun being short. Um, you get used to it clearly. Once you learn you're not going to grow anymore, you kind of come accustomed to having to climb shelves at the grocery store or having to get help. My husband is taller than me, but he's like 5'5". He's not super tall. So he'll get stuff if he's with me. If not, I often just do the jumping. I'll climb or I'll jump and knock stuff down. Uh, I do whatever I can to get what I need. You had a 350 and it was, yeah, I have a 4Runner and my husband has a Tacoma and I can drive both of them. I have been in vehicles before where my dad had a really old Ford Ranger, really old one, like older than me. And it's how I learned how to drive a stick shift. And I had to sit with pillows under me and behind me in order to push the clutch all the way in because it was an older truck. It didn't have all of the amenities that vehicles come with now for short people. So that was an interesting learning experience. I did learn how to drive stick shift, and then I had kind of forgotten. And then my husband's car, when we first started dating and were married for the first few years of our lives together, he had a stick shift car, and his car was better than mine, and he would deploy, so I would often drive his car. So that's a little unknown fact about me is that I can drive a manual. Yeah, short people can hide better. Another thing that makes it weird with being like a petite person, I don't know if anyone else in chat can relate, is finding shoes. I have always had the hardest time finding shoes that fit and that are comfortable and that are professional for whatever I need, whether it's when I was going to court and I needed like nice shoes. It was hard to find like nice closed toed professional looking shoes, heels for a size 5 foot. It was really hard. And then anytime that I want to, and like when I buy Converse or tennis shoes, I'll be honest with you guys, I buy from the kids section because it's cheaper and they fit just fine. They actually probably fit better than if I tried to fit into a normal woman's size shoe. Dottie, you can reach all. You were self-conscious about being tall. My sister was self-conscious about being tall. You guys know I'm not biological to my family, so they're all tall. Everybody in my brother is 5 years younger than me, and he's like 6'3". My dad is 6'1". I think my mom is like 5'6" now. She was taller. She's gotten shorter with surgeries that she's had on her knees. My sister, how tall is my sister? She's like 5'7", 5'6" or 5'7". She might even be a little bit taller than that. Maybe 5'8". I don't know. They're all tall. Everybody's tall. And my family is big boned too. Like they're not, I don't want to say overweight. Like we all struggle with our weight in my family, but they're literally big boned. Like they're big, broad shoulders, big hands, and I'm just this little petite old person. Nobody ever knew though. People thought that I was biological to them because we were so close. You guys can't find shoes either? Yeah. It's hard to find pants long enough. Forget about long sleeves. I have the opposite issue of pants not being too long or like being just the right length, but with shoes they look like high waters. I mean, that's my struggle. When I was in shape and not overweight, it wasn't as hard being overweight and having the body type that I do. I have a hard time clothes shopping and a hard time finding clothes. I typically just wear t-shirts and blue jeans. I'm not even a legging kind of girl. I know a lot of people like to wear leggings and that they're comfortable, and I have a few here or there that I've gotten now that I'm on this weight loss journey and I'm starting to exercise. But I don't think they're comfortable to me. I think that's part of my self-consciousness of my body maybe coming out is I used to have like I was in marching band and cheerleading all in high school, and I was still pretty athletic outside of high school for the first couple of years, and my legs were always very muscular, and they're not anymore. My calves are, but my thighs have gotten more meaty, so to speak, so I'm not as comfortable like wearing shorts or certain kind of bathing suits and stuff like that that I used to be. But in normal clothing, I'm totally confident and fine. I'm confident not wearing makeup. I've talked with you guys before. I don't wear makeup all the time. I've gotten back into wearing more makeup recently now that I've kind of pulled myself out of some other stuff, but I'm pretty confident in just like myself, I guess. And I don't mean that in a way to come off like cocky. Your fiance got the short straw. His family is over 6'5", and he's only 5'8". Oh my goodness. That's my husband's best friend. I've told this story before, and his piss mate when he was in the barracks still on base was 6'7", and my husband's like 5'5". 5'6". I'll give him the extra inch. He's probably more like 5'5", 5'4", but they were best friends. Always together. There was a huge height difference. It was absolutely hilarious to see them hanging out and like running around, going out and stuff. It was always funny. Hey, Off Duty Beauty, how are you doing? You walk on the ends of your pants. I do too. I've kind of learned what style of pant I can wear now. I typically just wear like not super tight skinny jeans, but I wear like straight legged skinny jeans, and Converse are the shoes I almost always wear. So even if they're too long, they'll bunch up on the top of my shoe and I don't end up walking on them. Clothing purchases were a nightmare. Hey Cheryl, yeah, they're still a nightmare. I hate clothes shopping. I hardly ever go clothes shopping. You literally giggled, yeah. I don't know if he can hear me. I think he's doing stuff. Sometimes he lingers out and will like listen. He'll eavesdrop. He used to barge in here occasionally, but he did that once, and I didn't have my backdrop up all the way, so he kind of you saw like a part of his face, and he doesn't want to be on here, so he uh he doesn't do that anymore. You got a cricket. Yay, that's exciting. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or I had my first live stream on the crafting channel earlier today. It was only 30 minutes. But tomorrow I will probably be doing stuff and showing Design Space and how I work it. So if you're interested in learning some of that off duty, you can check that out when it loads if you can't make the live. I don't know what time it'll be. I'm not really timing my crafting channel lives quite yet. I will and eventually, but right now it's just whenever I can. You prefer 50s style clothing? You think it's simply because it fits any height? You dress like a 90s grunge skater kid. It's how you're comfy. Yeah, I'm comfy in like a t-shirt and blue jeans or sweatpants. My husband doesn't like when I leave the house with sweatpants. I don't know. I think that's like a military thing. It even though anyways, so I try not to leave the house in sweatpants. He won't go out in public with me in sweatpants. So I practically only wear blue jeans and like t-shirts. Yeah, people are mad at Cricut because they're apparently with an update, they're requiring you to pay for Cricut Access, which is like $10 a month, in order to have unlimited uploads to the software. So what happens when you own your own business is you typically, especially with depending on what kind of business you do, but you create what most people do and what I have started to do is you create whatever template you want, whether it's a text or a style or a sticker or any of that. You create it in either Adobe, Photoshop, or in Procreate, and then you save it to your device, and then you upload it as a PNG to Cricut Design Space, and then you print it from there and have your machine cut it out. People are mad that you pay however much you pay for your machine, that you now have to pay a monthly fee to have access for unlimited uploading. Otherwise, you're limited to like 10 uploads. So it is ridiculous. I've always paid for Cricut Design Space. So it's not really going to affect me at all, but people are really frustrated by it. No, Cricut is a cutting machine, Advent, for crafts. You'd be lying if you say you wore anything other than pajamas right now. I have to leave the house quite often, so most days I get dressed. If I know I'm not going anywhere, I won't get dressed. I will stay in my pajamas, or I'll get partially dressed. In some of the videos that I've been filming over the last couple of weeks, I'm partially dressed. My top half is dressed, my bottom half is not. And by that I mean I'm wearing like pajama pants or sweatpants. You've Made Simple vinyls. I printed off these, which I haven't cut them out yet. These are stickers. I have some. They're all over there. I have other stickers. Here's some of them cut out, laminated and cut out. This is totally not what this live stream is supposed to be about. My crafting stuff. I'm getting off topic. So yeah, I've got more stuff to cut out on the Cricut and to design for my Green Bay Packer cups, which I will probably be doing tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever I can. PJs are your wardrobe too, Amber Chick. You only wear jeans when you go out of the house. I mean, that's understandable. I think I leave the house. I don't want to say leave the house every day. I leave the house a couple of times a week. I left the house today. I had to go ship off an order that I had. So I did that, and I sent my brother and my dad their birthday gifts a week late, but I got those in the mail finally. So yeah, I did leave today. Stay on topic or get booted from your own channel. I know, right? Speaking of which, I'm probably gonna try to wrap this up. I saw all the Twitters before I got live, and I mean, I don't want this live stream to end up being about all of that stuff, but I'm kind of shocked what's all going on Twitter with the lawsuit with Katie Joy and Tati Westbrook. You hate when you have to do your hair and makeup to go out. I don't. I mean, that's honest. I don't typically do my makeup or I blow dry my hair now. With having the shorter hairstyle, if I don't blow dry it or at least straighten it, it'll be all over the place. But that's about it. I don't always put makeup on. I did it today. My hair has lived, before I got my hair cut, my hair lived in a ponytail. So much so that like the back of my head where I would always have my ponytail, like right here, the crown of my head, my hair is like thinning. I'm not bald. There's still definitely hair there, but like it's thinning there from having my hair up all the time. Yeah, Twitter is hazardous. I didn't know what was going on, and I logged into it, and I was like, interesting. I was already debating some stuff if I was going to make a video about Katie, and like I don't know now if it's even worth it, to be honest. It had nothing to do with the lawsuit, so I'm still torn. I'm still trying to think through if I want to make that video or not. Hey Coley, how are you? I'm glad you made it. You want my eyebrows? They may look good on camera, but like if I came up close or zoomed in, I have such thinning hair that like my eyebrows are, in person, they're pretty scraggly. You might put some eyeliner or mascara on, maybe something on your lips. You never wear foundation or concealer. I don't typically wear concealer, but I'll wear foundation. You stopped wearing eyeliner when you ruined being goth. Do you think Tati's going to refile in Minnesota? I think almost everybody is assuming that they're going to file in Minnesota, but I was going to make a video about something totally different, about what had happened like a couple of days before, like the day before or 2 days before. I can't keep my timeline with her straight, where she started like spouting out at the mouth about her CPS case and stuff like that. You guys know how much that bothers me. I just don't know if it's a can of worms that I feel like diving into again. You wear full makeup to leave your house. A lot of people do. I don't. I've had friends who are like that. It doesn't bother me. Like if that's what makes you comfortable to leave your house and like makes you feel confident in yourself, do it. Like do whatever makes you feel confident. You think they'll also refile? You had to go back to work, Amber Chick. You shaved yourself when you were 16. Now they grow back horribly. I've never. You want to try microblading? I won't try microblading. I have friends that I know who have done it. It looks really nice. They say it's not that bad. Um, I I'm not one who really is into eyebrows or even does my eyebrows. I didn't even do my eyebrows until like 2 or 3 years ago. Before then, I just let them be wild, and I don't trim my eyebrows at all. Like I don't pluck them or anything. It hurts too bad. You had your eyeliner tattooed on. Big mistake. 15 years later, you're over it. So, interesting story. Hopefully, she doesn't care that I say this. My mom got her eyebrows, not eyebrows, her eyeliner tattooed on twice, and it never kept. It like her skin didn't retain the ink on her eyelids. She did it once, and they faded almost instantly, so they redid it for her, and she said okay, and she through the pain a whole nother time, and it never kept. I couldn't do that. I mean, I have tattoos. I know the pain of a tattoo. I could not do it on my eyelids or any kind of like cosmetic. I couldn't do it. You'll leave the house without makeup too. Yeah, I've never really. When I was in high school, I kind of was more along the lines of, oh, I needed to have makeup on to go to school. To like, I don't know who I was trying to impress, but I would wear makeup to school almost every day. And I think like my first couple of years out of high school, I wore makeup pretty religiously. But to be too quite honest, like I rather sleep. I would rather get an extra 30 minutes of sleep than doing my makeup. So I would sleep and just not put makeup on. You always look a hot mess. Oh, he married you because he loves you. We can look a hot mess with our husbands. We're supposed to be able to. Oh, you're still working from home? Oh, okay. I think I misunderstood or I caught the tail end of a conversation then. I'm sorry. Your lips faded, but your eyeliner's still there. I can't remember if she did her lips or not. It's not there if she did. I couldn't get eyeliner tattoos. I couldn't get any tattoo on my face. I couldn't get any tattoo on my foot or my ankle or my ribs. Anywhere where it's known to be like super duper painful, I don't think I could do it. I would chicken out. Any piercing that I've gotten, I don't know if I've talked about this before. I'm sure I have at some point. I'm terrified of needles. Like I'm the kind of person who cries when I go and get a shot. Um, I finally have gotten over that. I still cry anytime I get an IV um, because I hate the idea of needles, but I will subject myself to piercings and to tattoos. And I don't think I cried with either any of my tattoos. I cried when I got my nose pierced, and I cried when I got my belly button pierced. And I had a panic attack almost when I got my lip pierced. They almost didn't pierce my lip because I wouldn't calm down. I finally did calm down, and then they pierced it. I kept it for like 6 months, and then turns out my husband didn't really like it, and it was really a nuisance, so I took it out. Your ex-husband wouldn't let you wear makeup for 14 years. I mean, if you feel comfortable not wearing makeup, by all means. scared you have tattoos everywhere else, but that scares you. You have tattoos all of those painful places. Yeah, I don't think I could sit through it. I really don't. I think I tend to psych myself up, and then once they start, I'm fine. But for something, if it starts and it's really painful, I think I might chicken out. I don't know, and I honestly don't really know what my pain tolerance is like. I've never really been able to understand if I have a high or a low pain tolerance. So I've wanted to like get a little tattoo on my wrist before. My wrists are bare. I never follow through with it. I still have the tattoo. It's for our first dog that we lost. Instead, the tattoo that I wanted, I made into a decal and it's on my car. Feet aren't that bad. Ribs are the absolute worst. You're scared of shots and piercings, but not tattoos. You're drawing your chest piece. That's cool. You have 4 tattoos and 7 piercings. Depends on how you want to count my tattoos, because I have a tattoo on each hip. So if you want to count those individually, they could be, or they could count together. I have 4 tattoos and current piercings. I have 4. I have my ears, my nose, and my belly button pierced. I did have my second holes pierced, those closed up. And then I had my cartilage pierced and that closed up. My lip is closed up. The interesting thing about like my piercings, I don't even know if you guys like I haven't had a nose ring in several weeks. I can go months without wearing jewelry in my piercings and they don't heal up. The only reason my second holes healed up is because I have an attached earlobe on this side, and in the back of this ear, it's interesting. I can't really explain it. There's like not sagging skin, but there's like extra skin back here. So it's like 2 layers of skin where the second hole goes, and it just never healed when I had the piercing in. So when I took it out, it closed. And my cartilage, I don't even know if that's still open. I don't even know which ear I had my cartilage pierced in anymore, to be honest. I haven't had that in since high school. You like for the wrong reason. Some people, there's a term for that. What's the term for that when you enjoy pain? You need more ink, but you're broke. That's a constant conversation between my husband and I. Is like we're both always like, oh, I want to get this tattoo. I want to get this tattoo. And then even when we have the funds to do it, we end up not doing it. We won't follow through. You pierced a girl's nose and she cried the whole time. I was more nervous about my nose piercing. I got my nose pierced when I was in 11th grade. My mom let me get my nose pierced, which was interesting that she let me get my nose pierced in high school. But when I turned 18, both of my parents didn't want me to get my belly button pierced. I did anyways, but they didn't want me to. But they were okay with me having my nose piercing. I thought that was interesting. They also never wanted us to have tattoos, and when we were growing up, would talk about how if we ever got a tattoo, they wouldn't help us pay for our schooling. But when I told them the kind of tattoo I wanted for my first tattoo, it was in sentiment to them and being adopted. They kind of caved, and of course they approved of me to get the tattoo, and then now they're okay with tattoos. You freaked out when you went to get your nipples pierced. The first one hurt so bad that you didn't get the second one. Yeah, I could never get that piercing. I think I'm tapped out of piercings at this point. There's the only other piercing that I kind of want is the one in your ear, like in your ear cartilage that allegedly helps alleviate migraines. I've wanted to get that piercing, but I sleep on both sides of my body. Like I flip flop from side to side. So I remember how hard it was for me to have my nose heal. So I don't know if I would ever actually go through with that piercing because of that. There you go, Tor. Yeah, sadists are the ones who enjoy inflicting, and masochists are the ones who enjoy experiencing pain. I knew there were terms for them. I just it's not an area of literature I frequent, so I can't remember those kind of terms. Oh my gosh, I think it just started to. Geez, just heard a huge gust of wind. You have your nose. You have your nose pierced. Yeah, my nose is only pierced once. You guys probably can see my nose ring in some of my videos. I have my nose pierced. I just don't. I actually took out my nose ring the last time I did my makeup, and I left it on this desk, and I don't know where it went. And that was my last nose ring that I knew where it was. I tend, if anybody else has their nose pierced and you wear like the little L-shaped rings in it, I lose mine all of the time, and like I never find them unless it comes off when I'm asleep. I can usually find it in my sheets, but if I take them off and set them anywhere, they're gone. And I have gauged my nose hole down. I think when it's pierced, it's an 18. My nose hole will only take like an 18 gauge, a 22 gauge ring. So I have to order mine typically online. A few stores carry them, but not many, so they're hard to come across. So I don't have any more. So I'm not afraid it's going to close. I think I went a total of 6 months or 8 months without a nose ring in, and it never closed up. And I've gone like 3 years without having a ring in my belly button. And I just checked the other day. I found part of one of my belly button rings to see if it was closed up, and it's not. I don't know if like I just have I know most people their piercings like that heal after a while. Mine don't heal for some reason. Those my nose ring and my belly button have never healed. Like as far as like closed up, they're totally healed now. Had them for so long. You wear a hoop in your nose. I've never been able to wear a hoop in my nose because of the work I've done. I could wear one now. Maybe I'll see how that looks on my face. I don't know if I would like that. I feel like if I meet somebody with a hoop nose ring, or when they get it, they put in a hoop, I think they look super cute. I like them, but I'm weird about myself when it comes to like change like that. If I'm used to wearing a stud and then I go to a hoop, I don't think I will. Just like when I wear earrings, I feel really weird. I don't ever wear earrings. Hey, Krispy Kreme, how are you? You're multitasking on two lives. Did Xylie's live start? Is that the other live you're in, Sue? I guess I'm going to start wrapping up then. I know we kind of got off topic from it being an open discussion, but that happens sometimes. So I hope everybody has had a good time tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the kind of conversation that we had. We talked about all kinds of things. I guess some of it could be related to self care and self esteem. Some people get, piercings or tattoos to enhance themselves, the version of themselves that they want to do. Okay, Sue. So, I'm not mad about it. I hope you guys had enjoyed it. I am going to go into watch Xylee, and I think I have to leave here in a little bit and take my husband where he needs to go this afternoon. So, with that being said, I hope you guys all have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And I do want to reiterate, if you guys are still interested in launching like the second part of open discussion for like the community, if you have an experience or a part of your life that you want to share, whether it be to help educate others or just to have your experience out in the world, you can feel free to email me or DM me. If you want it to remain anonymous, I will tell your story for you with your permission. Or if you want to get on live, you don't have to show your face. We can work through all of the details. So hopefully we can get some of that going. And I don't know if I'll have an upload tomorrow or not, but there will be an upload on Wednesday. But I appreciate everybody. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day. If you have been following the Beast Boy saga or you want to know what kind of antics he's up to, that I believe is what Xylie's live stream is about. So if you've been following that, head on over to her channel. That is where I will be. But I hope you guys have a good one.